Okay, so we're back to our final review, looking at problems 8 through 16, our operations with fractions. Let's begin by talking about simplifying fractions. Remember that in order to simplify a fraction, we're going to divide the top and bottom by common factors. So if we look at 18 over 24, I want to know what number divides into 18 and 24. I come up with 6. So we're going to divide the top and bottom by the same number, and we get 18 divided by 6 is 3. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So our final answer is 3/4, since this does not simplify any further. Okay, we can also convert back and forth between mixed numbers and improper fractions. So in order to convert from an improper fraction to a mixed number, we're going to use long division. So we get 27 goes inside, 12 goes outside, 12 goes into 27 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. Subtract, we get 3. So when we write this as a mixed number, 12 goes into 2, or 12 goes into 27 2 whole times. So 2 is our whole number. Our remainder becomes our numerator. Our denominator stays the same. Remember, you can also use the checkmark method. Checkmark method, what it does is we have 2 and 3/12. Now we do want to be careful here because we want to make sure that we simplify if possible. And you can do this from the start, or you can do this at this stage. 3 and 12, 3 over 12 is not a simplified fraction. We do need to simplify it. So we're going to divide the top and bottom by 3, and we get 2 and 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. That is it for converting to a mixed number. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's write 5 and 6/7 as an improper fraction. So we're going to do kind of our around the world method on this. Starting at the bottom, we're going to multiply 7 times 5 and then add 6. So 7 times 5 is 35, plus 6 is 41. Denominator stays the same. So this becomes 41 over 7. All right, that's our converting back and forth between mixed and improper notation. So let's go ahead and get into our operations. So the first thing we're going to talk about is multiplication. In order to multiply fractions or mixed numbers, the first thing we want to do is write as improper fractions. We're going to cancel common factors, and then we want to multiply straight across. So for 11, we want to go ahead and convert to improper. So we get 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, over, keep the same denominator. 3 and 3/4, we get 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15 over, keep the same denominator, 4. All right, then we cancel. So what can I cancel here? 8 and 4 are both divisible by 4. If we divide 8 by 4, we get 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 3 and 15 are both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And if we multiply straight across, we get 10 over 1. Simplify this down as much as possible. 10 divided by 1 is 10. All right, so there's a multiplication. So now let's go ahead and look at a division problem. So remember, in order to divide fractions, we want to multiply by the reciprocal, or if you want to use common language, we're going to copy dot flip. So we copy the first fraction, dot, flip the second fraction. From here, we want to cancel common factors. 4 and 8 are divisible by 4. We get 1 and 2. 15 and 25 are both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. If we multiply straight across now, we get 1 times 3 is 3 over 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, that's multiplication and division. Let's keep going. Next thing we want to look at is addition and subtraction. So remember, the main thing to keep in mind when we talk addition and subtraction is we want to write with LCDs. So 3 over 7 plus 9 over 14. In order to add this, I want my LCD. What is a number that is divisible by 7 and 14? The answer is 14. Remember that we have to multiply to this number. So how do we get from 7 to 14? We're going to multiply by 2. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So 2 times 3 is 6 over 14 plus 9 over 14. Okay, if we go ahead and add, we get 6 plus 9 is 15 over, we keep the same bottom, do not add them, we keep the bottom, and we get 15 over 14. Is this simplified? The answer is yes. Please note there is a difference between simplified and converting to mixed numbers. For the final exam, you should only convert to mixed numbers if it specifically says write your answer as a mixed number. If it does not say write your answer as a mixed number, then feel free to leave it as an improper fraction. All right, that's 13. Let's look at 14. So just to be consistent with everything else, when we work with mixed numbers, let's go ahead and convert to improper fractions to start off with. So 2 3/4, if I convert this to an improper fraction, I get 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11 over 4. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16 over 3. Okay, what is my LCD? My LCD for this is going to be 12. So for the first fraction, how do we get from 4 to 12? We multiply by 3. We get 33 over 12. For the second fraction, how do we get from 3 to 12? We're going to multiply by 4. 16 times 4 is 64 over 12. And now if we add our tops, we get 97 over 12. And again, for the final exam, we're going to go ahead and leave our answer as an improper fraction. Okay, last ones, we're going to look at some subtraction problems. So for 15, we want to convert to improper fractions. We're going to rewrite each fraction with the LCD if needed. Add the tops and keep the bottom, and then simplify if possible. So, starting off with converting to improper fractions. If we convert to improper fractions, we get 5 times 10 is 50, plus 2 is 52 over 5. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28 over 5. All right, we want to go ahead and subtract. Note that we have same denominators here, so we do not have to write with an LCD. I'm going to go ahead and work this problem out on the side for my subtractions. I'm going to borrow from the 5, it becomes a 4. The 2 becomes a 12. So if we subtract, we get 12 minus 8 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. And so we get 24 for the top. We keep the bottom, and so we get 24 over 5. All right, last one. We have 6/7 minus 4/5. We want to find our LCD. Our LCD for this is going to be 35. So we have first fraction, we're going to multiply by 5 to the top and bottom. We get 30 over 35. Second fraction, we want to multiply by 7. We get 28 over 35. And now if we subtract, we're going to subtract our tops. We get 30 minus 28 is 2 over 35. All right, that takes care of subtracting fractions. And that takes care of our review of fractions. So the next thing we're going to look at is decimals. So go ahead and take a break, and I will see you in the next presentation.